Second type of example, if theta is an acute angle of a right triangle and sine of theta is 4/7, what is tangent? Best way to approach these problems, actually any problem if you can, is draw a picture. So it says right triangle, so draw a right triangle, any right triangle will do. Put theta as an acute angle, so either of these are both acute, so it doesn't matter. We'll put it down here, up here, doesn't matter. And sine of theta is 4/7. If they tell you sine of the angle, they're telling you opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? So the opposite of the angle is 4. Hypotenuse is 7. This you don't know, so we can make it x. They want tangent of theta. So tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, which we have the opposite, but we don't have the adjacent. So that's why we need x. Where can we find x? By Pythagorean theorem. So one leg squared, this leg squared, plus this leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So x squared plus 16 equals 49. X squared equals, if I minus 16 on both sides, you get 33, which makes x equal to square root 33. Oops, 33. Alright, now, which makes the adjacent square root of 33. So opposite is 4, so we're going back to our thing here. What's tangent of theta? 4 over adjacent, which is root 33. Now, what you have to do is you can't leave roots in the denominator, right? So you have to multiply by root 33 on the bottom, multiply by root 33 on top. Right? We're rationalizing. So we get 4 root 33 over square root of 33, square root of 33 becomes 33. Final answer. This is what x equals. Actually, this is what tangent of theta is equal to. This ratio right here. So you see that, letter B. Okay. Alright, before we move on to the next problem, I expect you to know something without the calculator. So, if you use a calculator and you give me a decimal, I won't accept it. So here's what you have to know. I'm telling you ahead of time so you know. If there's anything dealing with 30 degrees, 60 degrees, or 45 degrees. If there's anything like sine of 30 or sine of 60, cosine of 45, any of those, like tangent of 60, okay, anything I can give you with these three numbers, you have to be able to tell me an exact answer. Okay? And to do that, if you haven't done this before, I don't know if you have or not, you have to memorize two triangles. Here's the first one. Draw these triangles and star this because you're going to have to know it for sure. Okay? So 45, 45, 90 triangle. Why do you need to know the 45, 45, 90? Because it'll help you basically evaluate trig functions for any, well, for this one right here. Watch. Across from the 45, that's 1 unit long. Across from this 45 is the same thing, so 1 unit long. So 1, 1, and then if you did a squared plus b squared equals c squared, you would get square root of 2. Star this, have to know it. Why do you need to know this? Because what if I ask you this? What is the cosine of 45 degrees? All you would have to know is your triangle and say, okay, well, here's 45. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. What is adjacent to 45? 1. So I put a 1. What is hypotenuse of 45? And that is root 2. So root 2. The only other thing to this, basically you know the cosine of 45 based on a little triangle that you remember. But the only thing wrong with this is not rationalized. So root 2 on the bottom, root 2 on top. So really cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. All based on memory, not using your calculator. So if I asked you what cosine of 45 is and you typed it in your calculator and you got, some weird decimal, once again, I won't accept it. I want this. Anything dealing with 45, 60, or 30 degrees, you know this. Now the other one to this, the other special triangle is this. Draw another triangle, star it, and say, alright, I have to know this. That's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So all you have to do is remember three sides. Across from the 30 is the smallest side, 1. The hypotenuse is 2, and this side is a square root of 3. Once you know that, I can ask you any question. What's the sine of 30 or the cosine of 60? Whatever I want. Tangent of 30. You have to give me an exact answer. Ready? What's the sine of 30? All you have to do is remember this right here. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. Sine of 30. Opposite. So I'll write it here. Opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite of 30 is 1. And hypotenuse of 30 is 2. So sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Okay? If I said what's the cosine of 60 or tangent, whatever it is, all you have to do is once again look at the 60 and say, okay, adjacent over hypotenuse, adjacent to 60, that's 1 over hypotenuse is 2. Look at that, it's the same answer. Sine of 30, cosine of 60, same answer, 1/2. Okay? That you need to know that to do the next problem.